Today, we are creating your social media manager portfolio. I'll show you what to include, what to leave out, and how to build a portfolio that clearly shows a potential client what you can actually do, even if you have no previous clients or professional experience yet. Then we'll open Canva and customize the most important pages together so you are not left with a list of tips and no idea how to apply them. And stay until the end because I created a complete Canva portfolio template that you can duplicate for free. I'll also show you how to make it your own so it does not look like everyone else downloaded the same template. If you are new here, hi, I'm Noemi. I'm a social media manager and strategist, content creator, and the founder of KN Studio. I have been working in marketing for around 10 years now, and through KN Studio, I have supported international clients with strategy, content planning, storytelling, and social media management. But you do not need 10 years of experience before you create a portfolio. One of the biggest misconceptions beginners have is I need clients before I can make a portfolio. But I need a portfolio before I get clients. So paulit-ulit lang yung cycle. It can feel like you are stuck, but you are not. A portfolio is not only a record of people who have already hired you. It shows you how you think, what you can create, and how you could help a business. And I know this from experience because the page that landed me my first social media management client was not even something I created as portfolio. Before I became a social media manager, I had a page where I was selling bottled coffee. I created the content, styled the products, wrote the captions, and managed the page because I was trying to sell my own product. And at that time, I had no idea that someone would look at it as a proof that I could manage social media for a business. But that is exactly what happened. My first ever client saw the copy page I was managing, liked how I was presenting the brand, and hired me to manage his social media. That page became my first portfolio before I even knew it was one. So if you think that you have nothing to show yet, look again. Personal project, small business you started, a page you grew, or content you created simply because you enjoyed it can actually show valuable skills. You may have more proof than you realize because clients are not only asking, who have you worked with? They are also asking, do you understand my business? Can you create content that fits my brand? Can you communicate clearly? Like, do you have a thoughtful process? Can I trust you with my online presence? Your portfolio should help them answer those questions. Thoughtful process. So yes, if you're a beginner, you can use concept work or mock projects. You just need to label them honestly. Never present a mock brand as a paying client or invent results you did not achieve. The goal is not to pretend you have more experience. The goal is to make your current skills visible. Your social media manager portfolio is a clear collection of your skills, your approach, and your strongest work. Think of it as the proof behind your pitch. And it can take a few different forms. Number one, a PDF that you can attach to an inquiry or application, or a shareable Canva presentation. This one is the most common for freelancers. And the third one is page on your website. And if you're just getting started, a Canva presentation exported as a PDF is completely enough. It is accessible, easy to update, and you do not need to wait until you can build a website. So yung Canva PDF is very common, especially for local clients kasi gusto nila yung daling ma-download and available offline. Whichever format you choose, keep it easy to scan. Potential clients should not have to search through 30 pages to understand what you do. So, dapat simple lang talaga, easy to scan, and madaling maintindihan. And before designing anything, decide what kind of work you want the portfolio to attract. So, do you want to attract full social media management clients, content creation projects, or Reels editing lang, or strategy lang, LinkedIn content? whatever. So your answer changes what you need to feature. If you want to sell short form video packages, syempre ipapakita mo yung mga videos. If you want to offer copywriting lang, of course you have to include captions or content examples that demonstrate your writing. And if you want full social media management clients, of course, you have to show that you can connect strategy, content pillars, copy visuals, and planning instead of only making attractive graphics. Do not fill your portfolio with work you do not want to be hired to do. Your portfolio is not simply a collection of everything you have ever made. It should point toward the work you want more of. Before you open Canva, ask these three questions. Number one, who do I want to work with? What service do I want them to hire me for? And lastly, what examples would help them trust me with that service? You do not need to commit to one niche forever, but your portfolio becomes much stronger when you are clear about who you want it to speak to. I learned this through the different stages of my own freelance business. In my early years, I showed more product based work because those were the clients I wanted to attract. And it worked. The style of the work I shared helped those clients picture me creating something similar for their businesses. But a few years into the work, I realized I did not enjoy focusing only on that industry. What mattered more to me now was working with people and businesses whose values, purpose, and offers aligned with mine. So I changed the way I presented my work. My portfolio became less about attracting one exact type of product and more about showing how I approach strategy, storytelling, and intentional content for the right kind of client. So your direction can change too. You just need to be clear about the kind of work and people you want your portfolio to attract right now. For example, if you want to work with wellness brands, you could create a mock project, let's say a Pilates studio. If you want to support service providers, you could create a content strategy and sample posts for a coach, photographer, or consultant. So choose something you understand or genuinely want to learn more about. That will make the strategy and content feel more thoughtful. So now step 2, choose your strongest work. Your portfolio should include your best and most relevant work, not every piece of content you have ever created. So you have to choose wisely. And if you have experience, choose a few projects that show the skills attached to the services you want to sell. But if you are new, 1 or 2 strong mock projects are better than a 6 rush ones. Okay? So you can build portfolio examples in 4 ways. So first, create a clearly labeled mock brand or concept project. Second, use work from your own personal or business account. Katulad ng ginawa ko before. So third, this is optional. You can complete a short volunteer project for a nonprofit or community organization. Fourth, help a friend's business or clearly agreed trial period. So if you work for free to gain experience, set a specific scope and end date before you begin. For example, 1 strategy and 4 sample posts or 30 days of support. Free work should still have boundaries. And again, do not invent analytics. If a concept project has never been published, focus on the goal, your decisions, and what you created, more on your thought process. So you can show how you think without making up numbers. Step 3, add the pages your portfolio needs. Here is the order I recommend. Number 1 is cover, and then introduction, then about you and relevant experiences. 4th can be your process. 5th, yung selected work mo or yung mga mock projects if wala ka pang recent client work. 6th, yung services mo. 7th, proof. And last would be yung next step or kung ano yung gagawin nila after or yung CTA mo. So now let's quickly break those down. So your cover page should immediately say what you do, your name, your role, and 1 clear positioning line are enough. And then your about page should not read like a random list of facts. Connect your experience, education, previous career, or interests to the type of support you offer. This page matters more than you might think. One of my longest term clients originally invited me to a discovery call because she connected with the person behind my social media. Like she was interested in my work, but she also resonated with my story and my personality. And then over the years, I have seen clients choose social media manager for different reasons. Some are drawn to your creative style. Some need to see your strategy and credibility. Others connect with your values, your story, or the way you communicate. That is why your portfolio need both the work and the person behind the work. You do not need to overshare, but give the right client something real to connect with. So maybe you were a teacher and became excellent at planning, simplifying ideas, and communicating. Maybe you work in hospitality and understand customer experience. Or maybe you build a book account and learned how to create content consistently and grow a community. Those are transferable skills. Help the client understand why they matter. Next, your process page. Your process page gives clients a sense of what working with you looks like. It can be simple as discovery, strategy, content creation, approval, publishing, and reporting. You do not need a perfect system yet. You can start with a clear, realistic process and refine it as you gain experience. And then your work samples. So your work samples are the heart of the portfolio. Do not only paste isolated Instagram graphics on a page. Give each project a context. So for example, what was the brand or brief? Who was the audience? What was the goal? What did you create? Why did you make those choices? And what was the result? If it was real and measurable, that shows the client that you can do more than create something pretty because you understand why the content needs to exist. For your services page, give a clear overview of what you offer. You may include your rates, starting prices, or say that custom proposals are also available. There is no single right answer here. Public pricing can help filter inquiries, while custom pricing gives you room to price each project based on what it needs. So choose what fits your business, but do not let the pricing question stop you from finishing the portfolio. Then finally, the last page, end with one clear call to action. So tell people exactly what to do next. It's either book a discovery call, complete your inquiry form, or email you. Step 4, show the thinking behind your work. This is where many beginner portfolios become too generic. So instead of writing, here are some posts I designed, frame the project like this. So you can frame it as brand, challenge, strategy, then the content and outcome. So for example, for a mock Pilates studio, it might sound like this concept project was created for a boutique Pilates studio that wanted to attract busy professionals and make beginner classes feel more approachable. I developed 3 content pillars around education, community, and studio experience, then created a sample week of content using those pillars. And then after that, show the actual work. So a real concept, a carousel, a promotional post, sample captions, a story sequence, or a mini content calendar. So explain 1 or 2 decisions. Maybe the educational carousel answers a common beginner objection, or maybe the reel uses a studio tour to reduce uncertainty for first-time visitor. So maybe the story sequence leads people to book an introductory class. So that is much more convincing than showing 9 attractive squares with no explanation. If it is a concept work, add a small but visible label. For example, concept project created to demonstrate social media strategy and content skills. Step 5, make it ready to send. Before sending your portfolio, check it from the client's perspective. Number 1, can they understand what you do within the first few pages? Is your strongest and most relevant work easy to find? Are all links clickable? Is the text readable on a laptop and phone. Thus, the file open without requiring access permission. Is there one obvious next step at the end? And then export a PDF and test every link yourself. If you use a Canva presentation link, open it in an incognito window so you know a client can access it. By the way, if this has been helpful so far, consider giving this video a thumbs up. If you are learning how to build your career or business in social media, subscribe because I create more free content and practical resources like this every week. Let's build your portfolio together. Now let's turn everything we've talked about into an actual portfolio. So I created this free Canva portfolio template to help you get started, especially if you're still figuring out what to write or which pages actually you need. Instead of using my personal information or showing you a finished portfolio, that might be difficult to apply to your own work. I designed this as a fill in the blank template, so you can just fill out your own information. And throughout the template, you'll see instructions showing you what to add, what to customize, and what to remove if it doesn't apply to you yet. I also added a few notes based on what I would personally include after almost 10 years in marketing. But remember, you do not need to copy my experience. Use the prompts to tell your own story and show the skills you genuinely have right now. The template is linked in the description. Once you open it, select Use template for new design so you can create your own copy. Basta, you have to duplicate muna. Please do not request edit access to the original because that version needs to stay clean for everyone. Okay, so once you've duplicated it, we'll customize the most important pages together. So ready? So I'm not going to explain every Canva button because I want to focus on the parts that influence whether portfolio usually communicates your value. So we are going to customize the cover, about page, mock project, and final CTA. Okay, so let's go. On the cover, replace the name and role first. Avoid a vague title like creative professional. Say exactly what you want to be hired for. For example, social media manager, social media strategist, or content creator, or maybe short form video editor, or any another specific role. Then add one short positioning line. You can use this formula. I help. So what type of client achieve then yung desired outcome through your service or approach. So for example, I help wellness and lifestyle brands build trust and stay consistent through strategic social media content. So it does not need to sound clever. It needs to be clear. So now update the colors and fonts. Choose one or two fonts and a small color palette. So whatever style you choose, make sure it fits the kind of client you want to work with. So dito na papasok din yung personal branding nyo. And then for the About You page, so open About page and highlight each section. We are not going to write your entire life story. You can start with who you help and what you do, then add 2 or 3 details that support your credibility, relevant work experience, education, industry knowledge, content experience, or transferable skills. You can use this simple structure. I'm your name, A, your role, who helps, your audience with specific support. My background in your experience has helped develop relevant skills. I care about your approach or value, and I bring that into every project through how you work. So if you're changing careers, this is where you connect the dots instead of apologizing for being new. So for example, before moving into social media, I spent 5 years in customer service where I learned how to listen carefully, understand what people need, and communicate clearly. I now use those skills to create audience-led content and thoughtful online experiences for service-based brands. So keep it relevant and human. Clients want to know that you have the skills, but they also want a sense of the person they may be working with. So next page is mock project or case study. So this is the most important section to personalize. First, replace the sample project with a brand that matches your preferred niche. So add a concept project label if this was not created for a real client. Then write a short brief, include the business, audience, challenge, and goal. Next, show your strategic direction. Add 3 content pillars and explain what role each one plays. So for example, for educate, answer beginner questions and build authority. For connect, show the people and story behind the brand. For convert, make the offer and next step clear. So after that, insert your strongest examples. I recommend showing variety that matches your service. Perhaps one reel, one carousel, one caption, and one story sequence rather than 6 versions of the same static post. Also, you can use mock-ups when they make the content easier to imagine in context, but do not let the mock-up become more noticeable than the work itself. So finally, explain a few decisions. Add a note like, this carousel addresses a common first-time objection and ends with a low-pressure booking CTA. Or, this reel combines an educational hook with behind-the-scenes footage to build both authority and familiarity. These notes show the client that you did not choose a trending audio, font, or format at random. If this is a real project, you can add results, a testimonial, or both. So give the time frame and enough context for the number to mean something. If it is a mock work, leave results out. So the strategy and execution are your proof. And then the last page, your final CTA. The final page should make the next step effortless. So you can use one primary CTA or call to action, not 5 competing options. So mine might say book a coffee chat, or while yours might say book a discovery call or start your project. Make it on brand pa rin. And then link that button to your inquiry form or booking page. Then include your professional email and relevant social profile underneath. So before downloading the PDF, select the linked element, confirm the URL, and test it after export. So check all the buttons first. And then at this point, you have a portfolio that introduces you, shows how you think, proves what you can create, explains how someone can work with you, and gives them a clear next step. This is also how my own portfolio has grown with KN Studio. Earlier versions learned more heavily on visual style, and as I gained experience and started serving more international clients, I added more strategy and context, and made my services and positioning clearer and included stronger results and testimonials. But your first version does not need to contain all of that yet. Build it with what you truthfully have today, then allow it become stronger as your experience grows. Before we finish, here are a few bonus tips that can make your portfolio stronger. Number 1, customize the template. Do not only change your name, update the colors, your fonts, images, copy, and project examples so the portfolio feels connected to your personality and clients you want to attract. Second, show your strongest work. Your best work should appear early. More pages do not automatically create more trust. Or third, give every sample context. So explain the problem, the goal, and your decisions. Strategy makes the visuals more valuable. Fourth, credit collaborators. So if a photographer, a designer, videographer, or copywriter, or another team member contributed to a project, clearly state what you were responsible for and credit their work. Next, update it regularly. So you can set a reminder every 3 months to add stronger work, new testimonials, current services, and updated contact links. So as your skills grow, your portfolio should grow with you. Kasi madalas nakakalimutan natin. Then next, create a tailored version when it matters. So you do not need to rebuild the entire portfolio for every inquiry. But if you are pitching a dream client, move the most relevant case study forward and adjust your introduction so they can quickly see the connection. So next, do not wait for perfect branding. So a clear, complete portfolio that you can send today, is more useful than a beautiful unfinished one sitting in your drafts. Your first portfolio will not be your last. If you are building your first portfolio, remember that you are not trying to prove you have already mastered everything. You are showing that you can think intentionally, create with care, communicate clearly, and solve a real problem for a business. You do not need to wait for someone to give you permission to practice. Create the brief, build a mock project, explain your choices, and let the work show what you are capable of now and keep improving it as you gain experience. Your first portfolio will not be your final portfolio, and that is a good thing. It is allowed to evolve with you. Finish the version you can create today, send it, and learn from the response, and make the next version stronger. You can download the complete Canva portfolio template through the link in the description below. Remember to select Use Template for New Design to duplicate it in your own. So, duplicate nyo muna ha. So, before you start editing, please duplicate. Use the structure, replace all of the sample copy, and make it reflect the work you actually want to be hired for. And if you create your portfolio using the template, leave a comment and tell me what kind of social media clients you want to work with. I would genuinely love to know what you are building. And if this video helped you, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more practical videos on social media management, content strategy, and building a creative business with intention. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.